Welcome back. We have another vignette for you to watch. In this vignette, you're going to see a social interaction between someone who may or may not resemble myself, as well as someone who may or may not resemble Sherry Alexander and another colleague. I'd like for you to watch this vignette, and you can do it multiple times, but each time, please take note of things that you feel could help or hurt this social interaction, not just in this moment, but what behaviors could have a cascading effect that might affect the ability for these parties to collaborate in the future. You may see in this interaction some familiar dynamics from your own experience, and if not, you may see them with fresh eyes. Take a look, and we'll come back afterwards and try to debrief and pull out some key lessons from this.
Hi, Jeffrey. I want to introduce you to my friend Kristen. She needs a little help finding some marketing data.
I really don't have time right now. I gotta get off to a meeting.
You are so rude. Can't you stop for 1 minute?
Rudeness is the definition of you. You know I have that presentation to give. I gotta get crunching on it.
It's okay, Sherry. I heard he was a difficult personality. I'll just get the information I need from him some other way.
Oh, Kristen, I can't tell you what an idiot he is. I'll try and get the information from him tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Well, I hope you found that entertaining, but also very thought-provoking as well. In that interaction, we see a classic scenario where when we're interrupted and we're trying very hard to accomplish our work, it can be difficult to remain socially aware in order to then benefit from the ability to manage our emotions. In fact, self-managing our emotions takes effort, which means it can be hard, and it's extremely difficult when we're exhausted or stressed. But the research is very clear. It can affect, if we don't manage this, not only our health, mental performance, motivation, and ability, but as you saw there, our ability to smoothly collaborate with others. Now, there are several strategies to help engage in self-management, even when we're very busy and even when we're very tired. The first, of course, is self-awareness, and that's what this beginning of this lesson is all about. But you can also validate how you're feeling. If you're feeling stressed, tired, maybe angry or surprised, acknowledging that there may be external forces which make that legitimate is one specific step to allowing you to then engage in management. Another technique that comes from research is try to think about it from a third-party perspective. Think about somebody you know, or even yourself in the third party, might analyze the situation, and in doing so, it provides enough psychological distance to allow you to sort of see this with fresh eyes and think about alternative ways to approach it. Another technique is to search for emotional complexity. More often than not, we're feeling a constellation of things. The environment is very complex, and so it should be less of a surprise that our feelings can be complex. So rather than try to become aware of how we're feeling and land on one single emotion, think about the many different feelings we might have. For example, we might be torn. We might be sort of hopeful, but also a bit fearful about a situation. Such tension, such opposites of emotions, which we call emotional ambivalence, we know is actually good for decision making. And so by validating that you might feel in a complex way, it can actually help prepare you to analyze a situation in a very productive way, basically. There's also work showing that as a leader, this is key to be not only aware, but to manage emotions rather than ignore them. For example, in one study, a manager who had just been put in charge of running a merger and an acquisition was not able to really reconcile how people are feeling. Again, a bit of a hope that this acquisition was going to help the organization, but also a bit of fear about how they would merge the different cultures. On the other hand, the other managers in the organization who were able to focus not just on their own complex feelings, but also those of others within the organization, were better able to regulate or manage the ups and downs that follow that massive organizational change that often occur after a merger or an acquisition, or even with a new hire. So, in sum, It's very important to not only be aware of how you're feeling in the moment, but also try to put in that effort to regulate and manage that emotion. Otherwise, you may end up having to spend much more time down the road trying to repair those relationships.